Didn't have to be this way, but now this is the only way. Look at yourself.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Brotherly Banter, which today we have a very special topic. Because we don't know. We're just going to start with that. WWE WrestleMania 40 in Philly is if you watch wrestling, if you follow it, you clearly understand what's taking place right now. Because we were watching. We're still confused. There's a lot going on right now. I'm not gonna lie, to jump right into this. Mm-hmm. This has been such a back and forth. I'm kind of waiting for like Cody to not get his match somehow. Like The Rock just comes out of nowhere. He's just like, or it ends up being like a tag team.
I think night one could end up being a tag team.
Yeah.
I think Cody and Seth will pull double duty.
Yeah.
For WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like maybe the first match or something like that will be the tag team match, and then Seth will defend his title, and then the following night Cody defends his title, or they could just have the tag team match night one, and then Seth defend his title night two, and then Cody defend his title night two.
Oh, I see your point. Yeah,
but I think they'll just both end up pulling up double duty. One will just have a day off or longer break than the other, which I think Cody will end up having
the longer one. Break. Yeah. That whole situation is very interesting to me. Because I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy the fact that they pivoted from The Rock coming in and being a face and challenging Roman, but all of a sudden they realize, okay, well, if they don't like you here, the best option to have is to make you a heel.
Yeah. Which you should have seen coming.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna try to take the spot, regardless of how it went down, whether there was already planned a long time ago, and then this is how it played out.
Yeah.
Or if it was just like a last minute switcheroo.
Yeah.
They should have known that he was going to get booed for taking Cody's match. Especially if you already knew Cody was going to win the Rumble. And then you came back anyway. Because it's like, what was the point? Everyone was like, what would be the point of him winning the Rumble just for him to have the 2-time Royal Rumble spot, winner spot, and then not give him the title, give him somebody else to fight?
Well, I think, and I don't, okay, we can only go based off of rumors a lot, right? The original plan, from what I read, was Punk.
Yes.
Was supposed to win, but obviously he got injured, so in the middle match he said, hey, flip it, you win. So I get this. So technically it wasn't really set. Yeah. I think what was supposed to happen was Punk was supposed to win, challenge Rollins, right? That would have been fine. The Elimination Chamber would have been for Roman. Cody goes in, wins, and then he invades Rome. Right? But then The Rock, his situation with TKO, which I actually becoming a real fan of that company, actually. He came in. So the issue is I don't know at what part certain things were set in stone, because I don't think anything was set in stone.
I think, from what I was reading before, it said that Cody was always supposed to win the Rumble. Okay. And then Punk was, I guess, supposed to win the Elimination Chamber.
I see.
I think it made more sense for Cody to win the Rumble since he's been there longer than to have him lose and go into the chamber and then win. So I think it just made a lot more sense for that to be the thing. It's the same thing with why he lost last year, since he was new back. Yeah. I think the roles were just reversed.
I see your point.
So I think that was the plan, and then Punk getting hurt messed up the Rollins versus Punk plan. Yeah. So obviously they had to pivot and go with Rollins, like siding with Cody a little bit for The Rock and stuff situation, and then
somebody's gonna turn on somebody.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's Seth gonna turn on Cody or Rock's going to turn on Roman. Like, somebody's going to turn on somebody.
I think The Rock turns on Roman.
Yeah.
I think, for me, that makes more logical sense, because I think, as they always said before, like, they don't need a title to fight.
They don't,
Which I think that would set up Roman losing the title. Both of them go away probably for a period of time. Roman takes his break or whatever. Rock will come back at some point.
Because Cody's already would take over SmackDown.
Yeah, until the draft, I think. I think Cody takes over SmackDown until the draft, and I think they switch Cody back to Raw.
Really?
Because depending on who wins, obviously I think Seth drops his title no matter what.
Yeah, Seth's.
I'm gonna say I wouldn't be surprised because Raw's their A show. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cody wins and let's say whoever wins the Elimination Chamber beats Rollins. I wouldn't be surprised if they flip-flop before the draft. But either way, even if Cody stays on SmackDown, it'd still be fine regardless of the ratings and stuff. But I think it makes more sense for Cody to win this time. Yeah. And Rollins will lose his time because Rollins is more banged up than
oh my gosh, yes.
I won't say anybody because there's like 2 people out with ACL injuries and someone.
Well, I think he has they have like Punk has his tricep. Yeah, there's 2 people out, I believe, with ACLs. Like Shotzi's obviously.
Yeah, Charlotte's on her thing,
but he has injuries. He has multiple ones. Yeah, they just got one singular one. It's still bad. Yeah, but he has
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
back, a knee.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. No matter what would have happened, whether it was Punk winning or whoever wins the Elimination Chamber wins, I always thought Seth drops his title.
Yeah, I see that.
And then goes away for a bit to recover. Yeah. Whether he goes for a back surgery or just whatever, to take some time off to heal up, which would make sense for him and Roman to go away. Even though Roman doesn't really need to heal up, he still takes his time away. Yeah. I think it makes sense for Rollins to take time away and heal up. Because in a sense, you don't need them immediately anymore. No, because with how the roster's set up now. Yeah. Like before, I was like,
you got no choice. I got to figure this out.
Yeah. But now with how both Raw and SmackDown are set up, with how they have stars in NXT, with
Braun Breaker's coming,
with Raw having like Drew and the Judgment Day and Nakamura,
Samuel Hackers,
Sammy, all of them.
Jay.
You have Jay. You have stars set up. So if Rollins is gone for a couple of months or whatever until like near SummerSlam or after, you should be fine. Same thing with you leave Cody on SmackDown, you still have Orton and Styles and KO. You have a bunch of people on both shows. I mean, Andrade just came back for Raw. You said Braun Breaker's coming back. Let's see if whoever gets more superstars, we call it, from NXT.
Yeah, I think the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view, the rest, I guess they're WrestleMania. Yeah. After that, it'll be interesting because I think it depends on between Trick, Mello, and Eli. That's why I feel like one of those. I'm leaning towards Mello.
I think Mello gets
because he keeps showing up on. So I think it's like a good. We know how they operate, right? They'll bring somebody in, see the crowd reaction, test run. Mello's been showing up on SmackDown, so I would assume that TakeOver it would be. I think it'll be a triple threat,
probably,
and I think that's when Trick would finally, win. But I think Eli will. Dragunov will stay.
Probably.
Mello will get called up because there's no reason. He's got his revenge. Okay. I mean, Trick's got his revenge on them. You still have up and coming NXT guys. Like you got that big, gigantic African Oba. Yeah. So I'm sure he'll challenge
at some point.
Some point. So I think that'll be that. So like I said, you have more enough stars coming up, and I agree. The Rock and Roman situation. You're right. To me, it can go one of 2 ways. It can go Roman somehow wins, but he loses at SummerSlam. Yeah, but he loses because of Rock. Yeah, because I feel like if Roman wins, you still have the next couple of months to set up that feud, I guess, with the Rock. Like, okay, who's in charge now? And then SummerSlam happens. Cody gets his ultimate revenge, and then you have from September to basically January of maybe a break, but of the Rock, because the Rock and Roman's going to be at a WrestleMania. So for me,
especially with the Netflix, that's what I'm saying. The Netflix thing makes more sense.
So that's what I was saying. So for me to have them separate, them not really on television from when is this? April to June, not June. I'm sorry.
Like January.
Yeah, that's like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They can still take time away. I think Roman obviously would come back quicker than The Rock
because he would still get his rematch. Yeah. So I wonder if they have him lose and then he comes back, gets his rematch at SummerSlam with The Rock. Then he's about to win. Yeah. And The Rock comes in, he's like, no. Then he screws him over. I'm like, okay, now you.
I'm saying you can have Roman take off until near SummerSlam, whether he gets a rematch or
is it somebody else?
Somebody else. Regardless, it wouldn't exactly matter that much. Obviously, The Rock has more obligations outside of the company. You know, he has the Expo stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Whatever movies and stuff he's gonna do. Shut up. I was saying, hey, Rock going away and longer makes more sense.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And then Roman comes back first and then just starts spazzing out. And then even if you saw Jimmy or Solo still laugh like, hey, you're back. And then Roman starts spazzing out because of it. Eventually, something happens where The Rock has to come back, and then that'll lead up until WrestleMania.
Yeah, the WrestleMania, because here's my other thought. I can see, because the Netflix deal with WrestleMania is obviously the big deal, right? Mm-hmm. But the TKO situation, they're very much high on WWE like crack right now, which I get. My thing would be if they do, because I don't think you need Roman versus The Rock at a WrestleMania. I think you can do that for SummerSlam or Saudi.
You could,
because Saudi just bank money. It's crazy money.
Yeah, but obviously, yes, you could. But for a match like that, I think it would be at WrestleMania only because of the Netflix deal.
I know, but I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm just saying correct. If it wasn't for the Netflix deal, then I could see a SummerSlam or even the Saudi thing. I'm like, it's not a huge.
I think it's not huge. But I think from a money aspect, that's why I would only see Saudi being like, well,
I wouldn't want them to. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though if they wanted Rock to have a match at Saudi.
Yeah,
now that he's kind of back,
it's in his contract.
So part-time, whatever. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if he had a match at the paper at Saudi. I just don't think it would be against Roman.
Okay,
at Saudi, it can be against whoever. At Saudi.
So the reason you're right. I agree with you. The reason I brought up my point was because I can. The logic of that was because if, let's say, Rock calls Roman's WrestleMania, they have their moment, then they fight at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. I can see Seth versus Roman being a big draw for WrestleMania.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's why. Like, if Seth wasn't a factor, then I'd be like, okay, well, then you need somebody for that deal. First, it's their first WrestleMania Netflix deal. It's huge. So, obviously, it's a big buyout rate. So, that's why I said, I think that you can have I get it from a money standpoint. That's why I said Saudi would, just for money alone. That's why I can see that being the case. But for WrestleMania, again, for a draw aspect, I mean, sure, you can use The Rock for sure. You don't need a title. For wrestling, for feud, for storyline, for brothers, for Shield, all that stuff, you can build. Yeah, you don't need to give Seth and Roman they'll figure it out.
No,
like they'll sit there.
I do think they'll fight eventually. I don't think it'll be for a title.
No, I don't think it needs to be. No. I think it'll be just for who's better. Yeah. Because usually when they fought, it was always for a title. Yeah. They can literally just come down to be like, all right, we ain't got nothing to do. We ain't got nothing to do. Yeah. Let's just see who's better. The other points, well, this is just this right here is purely a what if. Mm. How it looks like with AEW, it looks like they're losing more people than they're gaining. Yeah. We already know Aleister Black and Buddy is coming back. That's happening. So that'll be its own, I'm sure, tag team, which I feel like would definitely boost up the men's tag team. God, please separate those tag team belts, please. There's no reason to do this. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was a flashback. It was a flashback. I feel like I think the success of WWE now will draw people like MJF. It'll draw people like and again, this last part is a complete what if. I don't know. Like Dean. I don't. I'm not saying I'm not saying I know.
I don't think MJF and Dean will come because I think MJF is already signed his contract.
Really? Okay.
Because his contract, I think, would have already been up by now, if I remember correctly. So obviously we haven't heard he's like WWE bound or whatever.
Well, yeah.
I think he already signed his contract with AEW for how many years? just because he already technically has a feud to come back to.
Oh, with Adam Cole,
and Adam Cole is obviously injured right now, but I think that makes more sense for him to stay. And then Dean, I don't think will come back, only because I think he's fine where he's at with his, and plus his style of matches he goes. He gets to go to indie shows and Japan and all that.
So well, I think because of the WWE crossover stuff they're starting to do now, that might. I'm not saying again, mine was what if. It's not like
I'm just saying from what little I see of AEW, I don't see those two.
It does look like you're having fun with Cesaro and Brian.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they will. I'm not going to say none of them will come back, but I don't think they're going to come back.
Gotcha.
Like, MJF maybe in the future only because he's young.
Yeah.
If at some point his contract runs out or something,
he just wants something
new. He's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Then sure, but I think MJF stays because he is like their heart and soul of the company at this point.
Yeah, no, he's their
like their biggest. Yeah, so they lose him. That's why I said.
If they lose him, it's
yeah. So when they was like, oh, he could be WWE, what's he gonna say? I was like, he's not leaving.
Yeah,
there's no way in the world he's leaving. So
okay,
maybe other people in the company, I can end up like if their contract is over, they'll just go. I'm gonna try something else.
I think a lot of the younger talent, I can see them going to NXT.
Yeah,
which would drastically just set WWE up for all. I mean, they're already good now because of how they build up their talent, which was just brilliant. Whoever came up with that. But if you take like Orange Cassidy or what is his name? I was about to call him Socks. Hook. I was like,
I'm playing.
I was like, who the heck is Socks, Corey? I was like, that's not it. Like Hook. I like Hook. Not gonna lie. AEW bores me, but I do like Hook and Orange Cassidy. Like people like that. If they decided to, I can see them going to NXT.
Yeah.
And then, build their way up, which again would be fine. Okay, next thing. The Muscle Mommy era. And one of their founding members, Jade.
He said the Muscle I can't stand you.
So obviously, everyone would want her versus Bianca.
I don't think that's happening.
I don't think it's happening either. I think that's next year.
I think Bianca. There was a rumor that Bianca faces Tiffany at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Just because of their interactions and stuff.
Yeah.
So they was like,
that would be
more than likely it's either going to be Becky or Liv versus the Chamber to face
Rhea.
Yeah, Rhea. Jade's opponent is.
Oh, I can see it being Nia. She did eliminate her.
That's true.
I can see it being that. I think Bianca versus Jade will be next year.
Yeah,
because I think they're saving certain matches. I feel like they'll save for that Netflix deal. Yeah,
and plus it makes more sense for a build up to happen to let her have a full year's worth of matches and promos and building yourself up.
Because then she'll be on SummerSlam. There'll be Survivor Series. Royal Rumble, like she'll have a good. Then there'll be the house shows, the live events, all that stuff. So she'll be fine. Yeah, I think next year Netflix deal would be her versus Bianca. Next year will be Rock, most likely versus Roman. Seth is I don't know.
Yeah, Punk maybe he gets his Punk.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, I can see him versus Punk.
Yeah,
it would be Cody versus
Orton.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
because you need a story a lot because a lot of these matches easily can dual sell themselves.
Yeah,
at that point, I mean, you'll have the storyline like Cody versus Orton. We get it; it's history. Roman, Rock, cousins, family history. Punk, Seth, they hate each other. It's history. Bianca versus Jay will literally just be all right. Let's just do this.
Yeah.
At that point, I think Jay will win a title.
Uso?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because the fact that he was actually supposed to win and they changed that thing around 6 p.m., I was like,
I think by maybe SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Or Royal. Between SummerSlam and Royal Rumble, I think he'll have a singles title.
Yeah. I can see that because this man got screwed over by every title. It's crazy. By his brother. I hate y'all so much.
You ain't succeeding without me.
Oh man, this man said you ain't winning nothing without me. He's like, if you win, I'll win. I'm not winning. I can't win this. That's terrible.
But I'm like, I support this. I'm just saying. I'm like, wow, you think you grow this company without me? We'll see what happens.
What you say?
I'm like, wow, you think you grow this company without me? I'm like,
smear campaign.
I'm like, we'll see how this goes.
The smear campaign. I'm gonna wake up like breaking news. Corey deletes Twitter feed.
I'm like, this Twitter feed got leaked. Private conversation. Stalks you down. I'm like, it was me. I'm just gonna text you. The first message you're gonna see it was me, and then follow that is gonna be a bunch of messages.
It's gonna be breaking news CNN. You're gonna just sit there like a super villain.
Like, it was me. I'm like, Corey? Yeah, I don't know him like I do. Let me tell you.
I'm like, yeah, I'm about to be down the sun. I'm gonna kill you, man. I was like, there's no other option. Cain and Abel. I was like, the only difference is I'm killing Cain. Oh god! All right, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Brotherly Banter. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your feedback. We appreciate it. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, share. All of it. It greatly helps us out.
Again.
It doesn't matter. Just they know.
Gotta go in order.
Why do I have to go in order? Why is that? It's like an unwritten rule.
Yes.
It's like you have to let somebody transform and drive over before you attack them.
I don't believe that one because I'm not letting you power up to whip me. But the other thing, yes. I'm just saying.
Side note: the way they snapped on 17 over that, it's supposed to survive. Why are you going off on this?
I'm with 17. I'm not letting you power up.
Especially
if I'm barely hanging on and now you like, haha, I got another form. I'm like, nah, I gotta take you out.
You can't have success over my life right now. Oh, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time.